Mr. Date Master, and we're back with another banger. My last video got deleted by YouTube for some misinformation, which I do not feel was misinformation because it was reported by a credible source. So we won't get into that. We know what that is. We're gonna change the tone up again. We're talking about reinventing yourself. Resistance is the proof of progress. You look at these two individuals on this thumbnail, Kanye West and 50 Cent. Two examples of men who reinvented themselves every few years. They rebranded, got into new things, had adversities, and they kept progressing. If you want to achieve anything great in life, if you're looking to step out into a new realm, you must reinvent yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually. You must take bigger risk. You're going to expose yourself a little bit more than you did previously, because a lot of us want to stay in this safe space. We want to stay in a space of comfort, in a space of complacency. But you want to achieve those great things. You look at all your greats: Kanye, 50 Cent, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, rest in peace, Kobe, Floyd Mayweather. Everybody that's top tier, the best at what they do, they did not get there because of love and support. They got there because of the hate. They're the most hated because they're the most relentless, the most dedicated, and were the most focused. And they did not let anyone deter them from achieving their goals. That's why you always see these big name guys beefing and falling out, and it becomes public. If you notice this trend, it's because people who see your potential, people who see your greatness, the women that come into your life, the friends, they see your potential and dedication, and they are threatened by it. They're intimidated by it. So you start hearing the shaming language. You start hearing you don't really come around. You're quiet. You're selfish. You're narcissistic. And I told you guys about narcissism. That is just a safe word to gain favor and support against a person that is headed to greatness. That is a safe word that mostly women will use, and beta male groups and orbiters, etc. They're going to use those terms to gain support to bring a man back down when he's on his way up. Resistance is the proof of progress. When you go against the grain, when you're going in another direction that is not really traveled, you're going to get resistance. You're going to get a lot of pushback. You're not going to get the support. If you're waiting around for people that's standing next to you and to support you, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to go anywhere. I have this theory, and I call it the familiarity complex. If people are too familiar with you, meaning you're too accessible, they know where you're going to be, you're too predictable, they know your mood, they know your every move, they know where you're going to be, they know your hangout spots, they know they can go and see you, touch you, hear you, etc. They're not going to place any value on you or anything that you do, because in their minds, you're just like them. In their minds, you're not anyone special. You're not anyone important. You have to treat yourself as a person of value before others treat you that way. You have to look at yourself that way first. And you do that by doing the necessary things that all of the GOATs do. Whether that be in the gym, study, learn, master your craft, master your talents, and put those on display for consumption. Don't worry about the judgment and the critique. Critique comes with everything. Michael Jordan has critiques, negative and good and bad. LeBron has critiques. For you to be critiqued, you first have to be visible. Those who live in the shadows, or who hang out in fear and in the shed, they don't get critiqued because they're not visible. People only critique what is visible and what has a presence. The guys that didn't make it to the league, they don't get critiqued on a major scale because they're not visible. They don't have the same platforms. So if you have a fear of being alienated, or losing friends, women, etc., you've already lost this battle. This is not for you. This is not for the faint at heart. You want to do what you do, and you want to master it. It has to be your life. It has to be your life. You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose people. And women are going to, that you once may have, dealt with, slept with, etc. You cut that off. They're going to have all kind of labels to fit or plug into their insecurity as to why you ghosted them, cut them off, or left them alone. They're going to have their own theories to comfort them. You don't worry about that. But you must reinvent yourself every so often, because the progress, every new level, it has to be a new you. It has to be a stronger you. When you look at the Mercedes Benz, you look at the exotic cars of the world, the pricey, extravagant, exotic cars. Every year they get better. Every year the designer said, we want to add this. We want Wi-Fi in the car now. We want Bluetooth in the car now. We want self-automated driving in the car now. Every new version of that vehicle is better than the previous one. So every new version of you has to be better than the previous one. You have to bite down and have that grit. Shout out my guy, Grown Man Business. You have to have that grit, that grind, that relentless dedication to where nothing or no one will stop you from reaching that level, whether that's a friendship, whether that's a relationship with a woman, etc. You do not let anything get in your way. Nothing. Being antisocial is a sign of focus and dedication. You can't be social with any and everyone. A friend to all is a friend to none. I said this before. So if you find yourself having too much time to interact and engage in meaningless conversation that doesn't have anything to do with your development, your goals, or progression, then it's a waste of your time. It's going to be wasted time. You should have no time to involve yourself in meaningless conversation. Here and there, you're taking breaks, and you have a circle, and you're tapping in and keeping, that relationship and bond strong. That's different, but that's going to be minimal. If you see yourself on Facebook, Instagram, in the comments in these groups and on threads talking about nothing all day, every day, you have to ask yourself, when am I going to build something great? Or do I just want to remain regular? Do I want to remain regular? You should not want to have any type of mediocre goals. Your goals should be exponential. Your purpose should be exponential. You should want to be the best at what you do in your area, in your market, in your industry. I want to be the best. So you have to put in the work. You have to do what others won't. Reinventing yourself comes at a cost. It comes at a cost of time, sleep. We want to have this balance where you want to get rest. You don't want to burn yourself out, of course. And you can go into overdrive. You got to take a little bit off and say, okay, let me take a break. Let me reset. Let me recalibrate. But that's the cost of greatness. You won't be getting a lot of those 8-hour and 12-hour nights of sleep and rest. You must grind. You must learn. And you must execute. The women of today do not understand this, but they only understand it when they're at the finish line waiting on those who did everything that I just said to do. Who who are waiting at the finish line for the guys who fell down face first because they took a step out on faith. They risked it. They risked it all. They risked it all to become. Because if you didn't do that, she wouldn't had any. You wouldn't have got her attention. These women do not find themselves surrounded by these type of men of means, men of value, high status guys. You think the women that you see, they're just there by happenstance, circumstance? No, they are intentionally in that space because she knows that's where that's where the guys hang out. These are where the real bosses hang out. These are where the ballers go. This is where they frequent. So they're very cunning at placing themselves in the proximity of high status guys. But you thinking that it was just happenstance that, hey, I was in Miami, I was in Fontainebleau, I was in, whatever island, whatever resort, and I ran into the love of my life. No, it doesn't work that way. Very rare would it work in that fashion. She knows this is where the high status guys hang out at. So she purposely placed herself in that environment to be chosen or to choose. Take yourself very serious. Everything you do, you must take it seriously. You got to take yourself serious. Because if you don't take yourself serious, you don't look at yourself as a man of value, of importance, no one else will. So if it comes at a sacrifice of pushing people away or repositioning yourself to where you only give access to those who truly deserve it, then so be it. Everyone doesn't deserve access to you, especially when you're in your lane, when you're in your zone and you're trying to build something from the ground up. That's going to require 90% of your attention, your dedication, and your time. Enjoy your life, live it, but make sure you reinvent yourself and you look at yourself as a person of value. It's the Day Master.